Hi Warriors, this is Jalen Megahead, my legal warrior, and today's segment is about child custody and visitation and how the coronavirus, despite it being very aggressive in San Diego County right now, how we're not going to let that affect our child custody and visitation orders. And actually, if you don't even have orders, but you're now having issues with the other party due to the coronavirus, meaning you probably don't want your kids shuffling back and forth as frequently between the two homes. Perhaps it's best to have them 1 week at a time. Or if both parents now are working from home, maybe this is the time to do joint custody, 50-50. So there might be some modifications there, and there could be positive modifications and certainly negative modifications. And in this video, I wanted to at least provide some resources during this time where you can, in fact, try to co-parent with the other parent. Now, this only works if the both of you are willing to co-parent. If you both aren't willing to co-parent and the other parent's being unreasonable, or maybe you're labeled as the unreasonable parent, that's an issue. I actually just read a case not too many days ago, and it was about a mom who was in the healthcare system. So she's constantly around sick patients and individuals that may or may not, have the coronavirus. And her ex decided to go into court. This is not in California, but this is something that, is possible. The ex decided to go into Oklahoma, try to do an emergency order, and actually was granted sole custody because the judge agreed that it was detrimental to have the mom who was working in the hospital or in the healthcare field have any time with their child. There's probably more to it than just that. Perhaps this child has some sort of autoimmune disease or something that if they did get the coronavirus would affect them to the point of hospitalization, and it was just better to err on the side of caution. Who knows? But this hasn't been a case in California. And with that being said, right now the courthouses are closed. We're not aware of the court allowing people to even make requests like that. The only request that they will accept is requests related to a restraining order, a domestic violence of some sort. So if everybody was claiming, yeah, I don't want the other parent to see the kid because of the coronavirus, and there's this possibility that they might get it, and there's no basis really, behind that, other than it's just existing, that coronavirus is around and we don't know what to do. And so it's just better for one parent to have the child, and the other parent obviously doesn't agree. You can't go to court and request a restraining order based off of that. So right now, the only thing that you can do with the other parent is co-parent. I mean, you can hire a mediator and try to figure out a schedule that works for the two of you. You can educate yourself about, well, if the other parent didn't agree, what would it look like for me in court? Maybe get familiar with the forms that you would possibly need in order to file for custody and visitation to establish that request. And so for now, I wanted to just say to review two things. And I'll just mention a couple of programs that are out there that would help you. So Kids Turn of San Diego. I mean, this is oftentimes recommended by the courts to make both parents go through Kids Turn of San Diego. If you don't know what Kids Turn of San Diego is, I'll give you a little briefing on it. It's a parenting workshop, and right now they're doing their parenting workshops online. And so you and the other parent could attend the webinars. It's usually about 4 weeks. And you sometimes, well, actually most of the time, the child's always involved in this. And so I think that's what makes this program very unique, is that the child is able to see that the parents are getting along during this time. And actually they can hear, he as a parent, you can hear the child, what they think of you or the process or how they're feeling. So it's really a good time to really just listen to your kids, and also for the kids to listen to the parents. And I mean, the kids are the only ones that suffer when mom and dad fight over custody and visitation. They really do. Now, another resource can be, Hannah's House, the online parenting courses that you can just Google and find. But that's the one that we think is reputable, gets results, and parents enjoy it. The kids enjoy it. They get judges also involved. So you can even meet, and the children get to meet some judges during these workshops. And it's a beautiful experience for the family. And it's something that's highly encouraged to do together, but you can do it, separately from the other parent. So let's say that you just know that, nope, there's just no way that I want to attend these workshops, and I just know that I don't want the other parent to see the children, and I just want to know what I need to do in order to file for sole custody, sole visitation, or to at least request some sort of custody and visitation from the court, and I just really need to be acquainted with the forms right now. So we are going to provide you with this form. There's 2 forms that you could go ahead and complete. This one is a petition for custody and support for minor children. And as you can read right here, it says this action will not terminate a marriage or domestic partnership and will do not determine a parental relationship. So you can be married to the person that you're filing this against, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to terminate your relationship with your spouse. It's definitely not going to establish that the other person is the parent of this child, but only for custody and visitation. So actually, if you are married to the other person, you don't want to file a divorce action, and you guys have just been separated, you want to remain married, but you guys have a dispute about custody and visitation, perhaps this is the form that you could study and learn whether this is something that is usable for the 2 of you. So again, custody and visitation, you need this portion right here filled out. It needs to be filled out completely. And then child support is part of every single case that deals with children. So whether that actually results in a 0 child support, or the court going to file or order child support at a later time, those are still orders, and the court can go ahead and make those. So there's a bunch of other forms that this form is asking you to review, and you should check those out. And in another video, we'll go through these other forms. But in this particular video, I just wanted to direct you to one of 2 ways to ask for custody and support for your minor kids, just to be familiar with them, especially during this time where you're not allowed to file for anything, but you're not kind of starting from scratch when you really do need this. And perhaps you just have all these forms filled out. As soon as you learn if the courthouse is open and is accepting new documents, then you could go ahead and just run to the courthouse and file these. The other one is a petition to establish parental relationship. Well, the other form said it's not going to establish parental relationship, and that's probably because there's already been an establishment of parental relationship because you've been married to the other person, or they signed like a voluntary declaration of disclosure, voluntary declaration of paternity. So this form, the FL200, which is commonly used amongst parents that are not married to each other, they can use this form to, 1, establish the parental relationship, so establish that the other parent is in fact the father or mother of the child. Typically, it's requesting for the father to be the father of the child, and then the custody and visitation is literally tied into this too, and child support is also tied into this. And you can also see like name changes, reasonable expenses of pregnancy, of birth, those things that the court, you can go ahead and request that through this form that the other form doesn't allow you to go ahead and do. So if you are interested in learning more about these forms, there's definitely a lot of free information out there about the parental relationships, and we'll create more videos reviewing these forms and how to fill them out. But for now, this is just something that we wanted to make you aware of. So this FL 200, and then you also have the FL 260. And you don't just file this form and that's it. There's additional forms associated with it. And in another video, we could go ahead and review those forms. But yeah, this is what you would need to know in order for you to be acquainted with the forms related to custody and visitation. Again, our advice is to try and compromise and co-parent with the other parent. And it just requires two people to be cooperative in that. And if they're not cooperative, there's only so much that you can do, and you're just gonna have to make decisions that's in the best interest of your kids constantly. So with that being said, if you could please share our videos so that individuals that are struggling with custody and visitation and need some resources out there, they can certainly use this video to help them in any way. So there's a bunch of other videos that we have created, but as of March 25, 2020, the courthouses are in fact closed, and so there's no litigation relief, but there's no reason why you shouldn't be educated about what forms you can use in order for you, or at least to review those forms for now, in order for you to establish some custody and visitation rights. Thank you so much, and we hope that you are having a good day, and that you're safe, and that you're constantly doing what's in the best interest of your children. Thank you.